What's up everyone, Ian here, welcome back. Today I wanted to show you what is, in my opinion, the best intermediate level indie filmmakers kit. Now the best thing about this is, like I said in the last video, each kit builds upon the prior kit, so you don't have to upgrade every single item you purchased in the prior kit. Now obviously you're going to have to upgrade some items, but not all of them. Upgrading to at least a 2-camera module, if not a tri-camera module, because most phones coming out, they're all competing with each other, the brands. Three lenses is ideal because you'll get a wide, a telephoto, and an ultra wide. And if you're not interested in getting third-party lenses like Moment or beastgrip, you can just use the on-camera lenses and they'll do just fine. Now as far as audio, I'm still waiting for the Deity D4 Duo to come out. I've been salivating waiting for this mic. It was supposed to ship today, but it got delayed to the 18th, which was a bummer when I read that this morning. But what's cool about this mic is that it's a dual cardioid microphone, meaning it picks up in the front and the back, and it being a diaphragm pickup pattern, it's like a heart shape, so it has a wider pickup pattern than my 416, which is very narrow. And this is good for filmmaking anyway, because your actors are going to move. They're going to move off axis, and sometimes it can sound, as you can hear, really weird when I do that. You need to stay kind of in a tight vicinity for it to sound good. And with large diaphragm condenser microphones, the pickup pattern is wider, so it's easier on the actor and the sound technician to get good sound. Now that's a budget microphone. You could use it for vlogs or documentary or even filmmaking. If you're good with EQ and you don't mind a little extra post-production processing magic, that could be the go-to mic and your forever mic, who knows. But if you want something that's a little more professional, analog, you could try the Deity S Mic 2S. Since I feel that most scenes in movies and shows are shot indoors as opposed to outdoors, of course there's a lot of outdoor scenes, but when you really pay attention, most scenes are shot indoors. So they say that a shotgun microphone like my 416 isn't ideal for indoors. Can you use it? Absolutely. But you want something with a wider, more forgiving pickup pattern because it helps reduce reverb, and like I said before, it's just easier to capture the vocal quality. Now, with that analog, more pro connection comes a heftier price tag, but compared to the 416, it's still dirt cheap, so Deity makes great stuff. I highly recommend them. Now, as far as lavs go, I have the Tascam Dr-10l. I watched numerous YouTube videos on this mic, and people had nothing but good things to say about it, so I bought it, and they were right. It's fantastic. Now, no mic, contrary to what many think, if you buy an expensive microphone, people think that they're not going to have to do any post-processing. Those people are in for a rude awakening, because no matter how good the microphone, there's always post-processing done, not so much to fix, because that's why you pay that price, because it's going to have a very clean signal, a very low noise signal, but there's going to be post-processing to sweeten the audio, to make it sound more appealing, to up the high frequencies and kind of roll off the really low-end frequencies. And you have to do that for any mic. I don't care where you are. They do it in Warner Brothers Studios, for crying out loud. It's going to have to be done. You're going to have to learn how to do it or know somebody who knows how to do it. And that is not even doubly true, like triply true for lav mics, because it's such a small capsule. It always sounds like someone's talking into their hand. It sounds atrocious. So you have to up the high frequencies to kind of compensate for that muffled gargling sound. But the cool thing is, I'm going to link this in the description too. When you buy the Tascam Dr-10l, I wish I knew this years ago, you get the free iZotope RX 7 Elements plugins. The denoise, declick, dehum, and declip. I always forget that last one. But figures, I bought this a couple of years ago for about $130, which still is pretty cheap. I just spit on my camera, great. It's still pretty cheap, but this comes free. You get the serial number, the registration code, it comes free with this lav mic, so it's a win-win. So I highly recommend getting this mic. The Deity HD-TX, that's what I'm recording into right now. It's a portable recorder, and it has preamps built in, so you can use it just like you would a Zoom. It's far superior to a Zoom, in my opinion. very low noise preamps, and it just records onto an SD card. It's like this big, it can clip onto your belt loop, you can use it on a boom pole. It's awesome, and it's only $250, which is a steal compared to some audio interface portable recorders that you would use for film production. Got my little cheat sheet down here, sorry. A lot to remember. The Mogami Gold XLR cable, that's what I've been using for years, even back in my voiceover days. Mogami's kind of like the gold standard, like Sennheiser is for microphones. Mogami is the king of XLR cables. Just, they're second to none. And you can ask anybody. Beyerdynamic headphones, you need to be able to monitor what you're recording on set. And these are the best in my opinion. They were recommended to me from my audio mentor, Tim Tippett's the VOTech guru. Go check him out. He is the man. He recommended these because they have a very flat response. They're not going to up the high frequencies to make you think that it's what you're recording sounds better. And it's not going to boost the bass frequencies like, say, Beats headphones do. It's going to give you the most accurate representation of what is being recorded. And it's great for mixing, too, in post-production because it does the same thing. Your ears aren't playing tricks on you if you don't have a massive setup with, top-of-the-line speakers and acoustic treatment and all of this engineering that goes into making these listening rooms. These headphones do just that. So they're a little pricey, but worth every penny. And last for audio, I have the Neewer 10-foot boom pole. Neewer makes great stuff and really cheap, so you really can't go wrong with a Neewer product. I think it's Neewer. People say Newer, but there's an extra E. I don't know. I say Neewer. Now on to lighting. Aputure MC Mini RGB. Love this thing. That's what is lighting my hair right now. It is so versatile. You can use it anywhere, and they're tiny. It's awesome. Best $90 I've spent in a long time. You need at least one or two of these in your kit. Now for the big boy light, we upgraded from the 120D Mark II to the 300D Mark II made by Aputure. This is the brightest light I have ever worked with. Now, I've never owned a 120D Mark II or a 300D Mark II, but I've used them. They're fantastic. If you need the maximum amount of light output for a scene or anything you're doing, the 300D, it's more than you'll ever need, trust me. It's crazy bright. So it basically can do anything you throw at it. The Aputure Lantern mod is what I use on my Aputure light. We're going to be talking about my light in the next video. I love this because it's a diffuser, but it also evenly distributes the light throughout the room, which is great when filming on a phone. As everybody knows, low light is kind of like the bane of the iPhone's camera, the kryptonite. So evenly distributing light throughout the entire room makes it so you have less noise in the darker areas of the image. And at $90, it is worth every penny, and it's, in my opinion, it's underpriced. And the big brother to the Aputure Lantern is the Light Dome 2. Mark II? I don't know. Light Dome 2. It's more than twice as expensive, but it comes with that 40-degree diffusion grid, which really creates the softest light on a subject. There's really no harsh shadows, and it gives you that buttery, lit look that Hollywood has. It's just, you're paying top dollar, but you're going to get top quality image. And like last time, the Neewer 10-foot C-stand for lights. You can't go wrong with these. C-stands are expensive for what they are, but they're necessary. They're safe. They're not going to tip over. And safety is first and foremost on any set. So you need stands that will be able to hold these heavy-ass lights and the mods that you put on the lights, the diffusers. It gets pretty heavy, so you need heavy-duty stands to get the job done. And one of the most overlooked things in lighting is a 5-in-1 deflector. Is a 5-in-1 reflector. Now, you can bounce light, you can use it as a flag, you can use the black part to kind of flag off light. The sky's the limit with these things, and it's kind of like adding a second fill light, but not adding a light. So if you're really on a budget, a 5-in-1 reflector, depending on how you frame the subject in a scene, can go a long way and save you a ton of money. So a 5-in-1, $20. I mean, why you wouldn't have one of these is beyond me. And I wanted the camera accessories. The Moment photo case, that's the one I use, the thin case. It makes it so you can basically mount anything with a bayonet mount attachment onto it, lenses, filters, you name it. And it's just as high of quality, if not better, than a case you'd buy at the Apple Store. So, it's a win-win. Next is a variable ND filter, the Gobi 2-peak. I wouldn't get the 1-peak because I made a video about filters a few months ago, and the 1-peak, if you go too far, it causes ugly vignetting. I haven't found that with the 2-peak just yet. I haven't had to crank it up all the way, but there's less vignetting each peak you go up. I believe it's 3 peaks max, but I just got the 2-peak because I don't really shoot in that crazy of conditions. I'm never in the desert, or rarely am I shooting at a lake or at the beach, so 2-peak works for me. The Beastgrip Pro camera rig, I've talked about this in other videos. It's my favorite handheld rig. You can mount it on a tripod, which I'm doing right now, and it's amazing. It's so versatile. You can use it with any company's products. They're not exclusive to their own products, which more companies need to take note of, and it's amazing. Next is a cheap 72-inch Polaroid tripod. If you're going to be filming on your phone, you do not need a heavy-duty, $5,000 Manfrotto tripod. It's overkill, unless you want to buy it. If you have the money, go for it, but it's really overkill. And the next item I'm going to talk about, in my opinion, after some practice, kind of replaces the tripod. I mean, you might not even need one, just to have as a backup. And that brings me to one of my favorite filmmaking toys, like I've talked about, the FreeFly Movi. If you're in the market for a gimbal, you only want to buy one, you don't want to buy this one, then that one to test the waters, get the FreeFly Movi. It is my favorite filmmaking tool. And this is not a sponsored video in any way. None of these links are affiliate links. These are products I bought with my hard-earned money, and they're just products that I recommend. I've used them, I've tested them, and they work great. And you want great results, in some areas you're going to have to shell out some money, some good money, and in other areas I found you don't have to spend as much, and you can get a great result. And none of these things are set in stone. I mean, just take this as a guide. I'm just trying to help people make buying decisions, conscious, thought out buying decisions. And you might see something that's similar and it's cheaper. Go for it. This is from my experience. I've used all of this gear and it just works. So that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.